This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Whether it's hot yoga, over 100-degree weather, or too much sun. Gator Light, with a specialized blend of 5 electrolytes, was scientifically designed to help move fluids into the body faster for rapid rehydration. Shop now at retailers nationwide. Gator Light hydrates faster than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you are the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. We're so excited you decided to join us. Make sure you go over and leave those 5-star reviews. If you like this, go over and listen to our other podcasts like the 5-Minute Basketball Coaching Podcast or High School Hoops or Funnel Down Defense or Coaching Youth Hoops or whatever one of the 7 in our network that you would like to listen to. But before we jump in, I'd like to give a big shout out to our 2 sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market. They are always, what I love about Dr. Dish is they're always innovating. They're always making that a little bit better. And that's why I think they're the best machine out there. Like I've said before, we own 3 of them, and I would not be talking about them every day if I did not believe in them. Mention Coach Unplugged, they'll give you $450 off, and they'll give you A1 customer service. And then also what helps keep the lights on, what helps keep everything moving is teachhoops.com. It's for coaches who want to get better. It is a one-stop shop by a basketball coach for a basketball coach. I'm always working with my team 365 days a year, working on making us better. And I want to do the same thing for you. I'm giving you resources, one-on-one calls, office hours, a roadmap per se that will help you become a better coach. And we offer a 14-day free trial because I believe you should come in and kick the tires around and see if it's right for you. If it's not, that's fine. But I guarantee that you're going to love it. All right, let's head off to the podcast.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
yeah,
perfect.
Can you hear me?
I can. Perfect.
Awesome. How you been?
I've been busy, sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just starting to get over I had like a 3-week cold. It was horrible.
I've somehow avoided it. So just the first game that we had after, we had about 6 or 7 of our girls get sick. 3 of them had the flu.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Somehow, knock on wood, I haven't got anything yet, but I've been expecting. I've just kind of been waiting for it. Wait, when it's my turn.
It's like you're like holding your breath. Just keep, rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Rest is the best, I think.
Yeah, kind of. The high fives kind of went down a little bit in practice on my end. I was a little bit wary. Like, maybe we'll wait till everyone's good.
That's funny. Okay, so go ahead. What were your questions?
All right. So the first big thing for us so far this year, so just like a catch up. So far, comparatively to last year, we're doing a whole lot better. We are 9 games into our season right now, and we are 8-1.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing a whole lot better. The one loss that we had was like an hour drive for us in the midst of sickness and stuff like that. And so we just did not – no one really looked like themselves that night. We'll get another opportunity which doesn't normally happen with our schedule to face them.
Okay.
So, yeah, I got a little redemption ready for that. One thing that is kind of that we're figuring out ways to improve upon, and it's more just a consistency thing, but is like open jump shots and seem to be a problem for us. And they're not all threes necessarily. They're a lot of mid-range in how we're doing it. And we've tried a few different things to improve shot efficiency. A lot of it comes, these girls went, like we had them like a week of practice before our preseason tournament because they went so far in soccer. They were in the, trying to get in the Little League World Series again in the summer for softball.
Right.
So we just did get a lot of off-season time with them, and that's definitely part of it. And we go I try to keep a lot of my drills where we're like a dribble drive-based team, a lot of our shooting drills based off of movements that we'll do in our offense so they get used to them. And we like our percentage change wasn't like nothing was happening. Like we're averaging twice as many points this year as we did last year, but we're
Right.
literally taking twice as many shots. So
Right.
we're not any more efficient. And the thing that I've tried lately is kind of, rebounder, passer, shooter, like a three-man shooting, but rather than normal distance on jump shots, everything's 6 to 8 feet,
Okay.
regardless of kind of skill level, just seeing the ball going through, getting to a rhythm. And the past 2 games since we've been doing that, that's our outside shooting has improved some, but I don't know if that's just a streaky thing because the sample size is so small. So
Right.
I don't know if that's that change for our shooting stuff or if we
Well,
just
I
been
mean,
talking about it.
it's great. I mean, usually it's the other way around. I would just try to get shots up so that you're getting shots in your offense and off the movement of the dribble drive. That's perfect. So check. You don't have to worry about that. The next one is just
Yeah.
quantity. So you need to carve out times in your practice to just get up quantity shots.
Yeah.
We'll do something where we tend to shoot a lot of threes. So we'll do like 5 minutes of threes and just shoot them. And one guy will rebound. So that's 10 minutes I take out. So that part of that drill is just I just need to get them quantity that they're not getting, that they get in the off season. For guys, if they have a rebounder, they should get anywhere between 15 and 20 rebounds or shots a minute, depending on how fast, what kind of how badly they miss. So
Right.
I think the record for us so far was my son this year. I think he was like 58 for 71 or 69 or something like that. So
Okay.
but that was just quantity, and he went and then his partner went. So it's 10 minutes. That's a lot of time in a practice. I get it, but sometimes you just need quantity, and those are just moving around the ring. So I would figure out, especially if it's mid-range or something like that, I would just how many baskets? You have 6 baskets?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just got to sell them. All right, we're just going to get shots up right now. And you got to carve out time to do that. Usually I'm telling coaches to go the other way, that they're getting those kind of shots up, but they're not getting them in your offense. So you're doing the right thing with getting them within your offense and the types of shots. But sometimes you just need to go for a long run. You need to just get up quantity. It's twofold from a former shooter. It's mental that I'm getting enough shots up, so I feel good about it. So it's a mental part, but it's also a just quantity, just feeling like I'm in rhythm. I try to not to have all my shooters not have a day off this time of year at all. So the days we don't practice, I tell them they got to go find some place to shoot. So that's part of it too. It's just it's like putting. You just don't want any time off from it.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of that's mental too. So
Yeah. And they're like comparatively to like the previous couple years that I've had, this one's like been a whole lot more mentally tough than the previous 2 years.
Right.
They kind of understand, like if we're doing like if we're going through something and they've missed however many shots in a row, they're not bashful enough now to come not say, hey, coach, look at my shot. What the heck am I doing wrong here? Because they can't feel the difference. So there's been improvements on that, like all of their forms. Like we've had some broke forms the past couple of years. Most of our forms this year, like, regardless how, they're all a little bit different from each other, obviously, but they're a whole lot more consistent than what they've been in years past. And it's just like there's some days we're just super streaky. There's some days where I'm like, where is this shooting that we have the entire year? And then there's days that we keep shooting them and they're not making them, and just middle school brains, they get caught like, okay, this is an open shot, I'm going to take it, even though we've missed 4 shots, jumpers in a row. We're not getting to the to the paint anymore.
Right.
So it's just been a weird balance for us this year. And the reason I'm figuring out ways to stress that in practice is because, middle school girls, we're averaging just under like 50 a game, something like that. We're at 44 now a game, which is great comparatively. Most of the teams that we're playing against are our points allowed this year is about 26 a game. So we have an average margin of victory of like 18.
Okay.
Like when we win, but we're relying really heavily on forcing teams to turn the ball over right now to score.
Right.
Like we're out of our press. And so like when we get into the offense, it's not that we're not getting open shots when we run the offense. It's that our efficiency is so much worse.
Yeah, and part of that's then you're going to end up with a team that's as good as you, and they're not going to let you do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to look down the road and be like, okay, if we really want to make a state bid this year, we're going to have to balance that out some.
Right. And some of that can be practice driven too. You can put some stuff and say, okay, what's going to happen here? We're the game's tied and there's 2 minutes. So for you, especially if you're blowing people out, a lot of situational stuff would be good, I think.
Okay.
Just put them because they'll learn, and then middle school girls will learn faster than middle school boys, and that's in this case a lot. Just put them in some cases where, okay, here's what's happening. And then there's times where I don't step in and there's times where I step in because I want to see how they do it. Like, well, why'd you follow there? Well, why'd you do that? And then we have a discussion about it. Like, there's just some things that, I would try to simulate that as much as possible. And then spend some time, if your break's looking good or you're getting things in transition or turning people over, I would spend more time in that, full court, let's go, how are we going to slow it if we don't score, in the half court.
Yeah. Well, honestly, what's been interesting with this group is, and we've talked before, the previous couple of years, I've wanted to play faster. And it's not necessarily like personnel, but like the temperament. I couldn't get the girls to commit to it like I wanted to.
Right.
And so then we went to last year we had a man-to-man, a 1-3-1, a 3-2, a 2-3. And so we just started switching defenses, and that's when we got hot and made a state sectional bid, even we were a 500 team. And then this year they have a much better temperament about it. But the thing that I found interesting with this group is we put it in preseason and in like the first week of our season. Right. We put it in press. And it's essentially like we're running a diamond, but we treat the mid-court and midline almost like if you were in a 2-2-1. Okay. So if one of the elbows in the diamond, one of the top two girls, if they beat sideline, then they're just riding her all the way up to the midline girl, and we're having another trap at half court.
Okay.
And it's been effective because, especially at this age, if the middle schooler thinks they got the press beat, they're putting their head down and they're going.
And they're going, yeah. Right.
And so it's been good, but in practice we have not had to have too many reps with it. It's more just like mental film and everything like that. We make adjustments to that based off little matchups, based off the opponent's press break to make sure we have things covered. Right. So it's not taking a lot of our practice time. It's still what we end up, like the majority of our points end up coming from. When we could go a quarter without scoring, or like there was literally a quarter against a far less superior team than us that we scored 2 points in the third.
Right.
And then in the first 2 minutes, of the fourth quarter, we went on like a 15-0 run. And like our half-court defense held them. They only scored 4 points that quarter.
Right.
But it's very strange kind of the runs that are happening this year. That's been really inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that's something that you have to feed the monster that you're scoring on. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
But then I would definitely work on. You're not as early as I am. I'm only 2 games in, so it's like we're still figuring out this is good, this isn't good. You've kind of got
Right.
you've got a large enough, like you said, large enough sample size. I think that you'd be fine to like, okay, we're good, we're pretty good at this. I can spend less time on this and more time on other things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the other part is, I know it's kind of the same as shooting. It's a repetition thing. It's a mental thing. From last year to this year, our free throw made percentages have went up like 10%,
Okay.
and we're still at 50 as a team.
Yeah, that's hard. That's the age, though.
Yeah.
Part of that's the age. If you can get that to 60, you'll be good. I'm just
huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
And the ways I've tried to get the reps is, so early in the year, I made them aim high, and it was like, okay, 70% average as a team. If we take, 8 minutes of practice and we shoot free throws, each of you keep up with it. And then if our group average of, if we're aiming for 70 is okay, and we're at 58, then we're going to run like a 12-liner as a group, because that's what we're trying to get to too. Even so, if we have someone who's weak, we bounce out with their strengths. We're wasting time in practice, I felt like there was no change. And so the past couple of weeks, what I've tried to do is do like in a row series. So like they'll have partners, and their partner has to run until the one shooting free throws hits 3 in a row, and then they switch. And things like that to emphasize like them. Or we've done that a few times, or I did like a plus-minus one where they start at like 5, and it made free throws +1 and misses -1, and their partner runs until they get to 10.
Right.
So it's not in a row, but as long as they get to 10, then they can switch out. And it kind of, what it's done doing one of those that way compared to how we started, it's kind of like allowing some of our conditioning to take place, because the rest of our conditioning,
and you want to just play play mental games with them too. So that's part of it.
Yeah.
It's like I sometimes put them in groups of 3 or 4, and then if someone misses, they run around the gym until someone else misses in their group. So yeah, all sorts of little mental games are what you need with that.
Yeah.
I think you're right on as far as picking one thing to like, let's just all focus on our follow through. And so, that's a big one with our guys. So I make them follow through until it hits the floor. So they have to over exaggerate it. So they shoot it until it hits the floor. They got to hold the follow through. So it's kind of some of those things that I think, it's a mental part. And free throws are so hard because it's hard to simulate them in practice. Like you do it. But I'm telling you, so if you guys are shooting 50, so that's what I would always tell the girls too, is like, doesn't matter how much we're down, we can always follow the other team, because they're not going to make their free throws either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and that's been like, other teams, there's teams that are worse than us in free throws, but the teams that have hung around with us are the teams that have been able to make free throws.
Yeah.
And that's there's kind of like part A and part B of like things that, like, looking down the road that are going to get us beat is us relying on other teams to turn the ball over, and then us not being able to make free throws down the stretch.
Yep, and them to turn the ball over, and you be able to maybe have a few quick hitters in your pocket that you could just start working on now, that you could score off of when you need to score. Maybe a high ball screen, or just something really simple, but something where you can get your good players going to the basket or get an open shot or whatever. I'd start putting those in, 1 or 2 of those, and just every day spend 2 or 3 minutes. Because then when you need them, you take a timeout. You say, hey, we're going to run Carolina. We're going to run Iowa or whatever. And they go, oh, we know how to do that. Because they've been in all the positions and done all the things. So I would definitely try to do that too at some point. if you're thinking long term or tournament time.
Right, and
have some things
in your
have some things up your sleeve for tournament.
Yeah, and that's been a couple of challenges. Like we're about to we have one more regular season game, and then we're in a Christmas tournament, like the 14th, 16th, 17th, 18th before Christmas. And generally, it's our host high school, who's like almost right across the road from us, and they get really good competition there, and that's kind of going to be like our measuring stick before we finish out the rest of our schedule in the new year.
Right.
And there's going to be some of those teams that aren't in the same like class as us that we're not going to see. They're bigger schools, everything like that. But competition-wise, we can run with them. So I'm looking forward to that one, just kind of see where we're at, because like the past few games, like our wins this year have been 49-16, 39-9, 40-17, 44-20. Like they're teams that we're going to see again, but there's not going to be anything that's going to keep us from going where we want to go. So I'm looking forward to that. But the challenge that I've had is we haven't had anyone but maybe more than a possession play man-to-man on us. And so it's a lot of zone, mostly 2-3. We had we had two teams go 3-2 on us. And when we're aggressive getting to the paint, everything works a whole lot better for us. And so in those quick hitters, it's so easy to get that quick hitter that ends up in a jump shot that we just don't need. Like we can get that in our offense. And so that's what I've been really trying to do, is figuring out the most effective quick hitters when you don't have a dead eye shooter that's going to space that zone out so much, but still allowing us off of a quick action to get to the paint. And we put in one that's been, we used it for the first time in our last game, and it worked okay, and we had a few reps with it. But
you want your best player to catch the ball, move into the basket. You want your best player in the low block or doing something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
so you can get a closer shot and you get a free throw maybe. Yeah.
And our best player, she's our tallest one, but she's also our primary ball handler, because we're pretty much an all guard team. But she's very athletic. She's leading us in rebounds, second scoring, leading us in steals, blocks, assists. Like she's leading us in a ton of categories. Where she's primary ball handler, we kind of got her some action, just trying to get her pretty much one-on-one with the middle girl in a 2-3. So get her past that first level, keep that bottom corner occupied, and get her there. But right now it's coming with her handling the ball. And the next thing that we're going to look at is seeing if we can get her on a cut instead.
Yeah.
To get some.
So that action, the cutting action, would be a really good action too. I think getting them moving toward the basket, even if they catch it and they're a little out of control, I think that would be good for being able to score.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you basically, if you're in a slump, you want to stop it by getting to the free throw line. Attacking the basket. Free throws, that's how you stop runs,
Yeah.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card, Shave Ice by the beach, a trip to the state fair, and a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in-minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Gatorade Zero powders have been scientifically designed to help improve hydration balance in the body. With a clinically proven electrolyte blend and no artificial colors or flavors. Great tasting hydration no matter where you're going. Shop now online or at retailers nationwide. Gatorade, hydrates better than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
All right. Yeah. And so we have one of those. I'm going to try to add another one.
Okay.
Probably by that.
Send it to me. I'll look at it. Send it to me. I'll look at it and see if I can tweak anything or see what I think about it.
Okay.
Send it to me.
Okay. And the challenge that because what I end up doing is knowing the personnel, I kind of sit there, put it on a marker board, and I play with it until it looks effective enough.
That's a great. I do that. I still do that because then you can put defenders out there Yeah, I have little magnets. I have a little magnet board. And I like the little magnet board because I can move things around and exactly figure out what I want to do with it. That's good.
Yeah. And the challenge that I found so far is like with the first one, we call it gap, and it's essentially we're from a 4-round one set where we don't really have a post. We call it the baseline, and our baseline is opposite block from the ball.
Right.
And the ball side corner is coming up to set a screen on the top girl in the zone, and in that same action, we have what we call like a nail cut, which we have in our offense already, but rather than actually using the cut, the opposite top girl is going to the ball side block to screen there. So they're almost backs to each other,
right,
literally creating like a gap, like a hole like you would in football.
Yep.
And because in our previous plays, when we have that action to attack, they help in so much because we're not consistent shooting. So even though the play is designed to get to the middle, we end up making the right read, kicking the ball out. We just don't score off of it near as much.
Okay.
So that's the one that we're using right now, and that's the one that's been okay. Right. There was one where the girl didn't even set the screen, and where we got the second screen, it was still wide open.
Yeah.
So
that movement. Zones don't like screening. Zones don't like movement. Zones don't like flashers. Those.
Yeah.
But yes, don't like guys cutting into the basket. So yeah, anything like any kind of movements like that you can get going, I think are good.
Yeah. And okay. And then things that because our press is it's pretty similar to if you did a 1-2-2 full court. I would imagine like the rules are pretty similar on it. It especially with the coaches around here, if I line up in a diamond, they're never expecting that second trap. They're not coaching, they're not telling their girls. And so it looks kind of like happenstance that we cut them off rather than actually something that we're trying to do because it's not every possession. We're also trapping in the front court.
Right.
But a 1-2-2 or like a half court, 3/4 court 1-2-2 is something that I might have toward the end of the year. And I still have from the clinic, Jarrett Hunziker's number, and I was going to shoot him a message.
You should. He's helping me. I put some in. I put that in this year. I put a 1-2-2 in this year. It works really well. Yeah. It's working really well.
Okay.
He'll reach out. Yeah, reach out to him. I can send me an email. I'll send you his contact stuff. So really good. Yeah.
Because I tried to YouTube some stuff, and none of it was like it's like the basics, blah blah blah. So I was like, if I'm going to get like a good resource, I think that's probably the place to go.
Yes, go there. He's really good, and I stole a bunch of stuff from him already. That's it's helping so much. So definitely reach out to him, and that would be good.
And then my last one that's really pressing is kind of we've done a whole lot better because I'm pretty solid with about for sure 8 deep on this year and maybe 9 depending on how that 9th one is kind of depending on what day it is.
Right.
And
I get it. Yeah.
And we're encouraging competition, our playing time, like we rotate a decent amount. And so it's been pretty good this year. And so when we get these quick leads, I kind of try to press enough and just rotate quick, have my bench in, maintain our press because that's kind of like our mentality. That's what I want to encourage that. And then when it's fourth quarter, you're up by 20, then we'll fall back in our half-court man-to-man and stay on it there.
Right.
And our half-court man-to-man has improved, and they understand that's kind of like a bread and butter. Just, case example, that quarter that we scored 2 points, we didn't get the press any because we weren't scoring, and our half-court defense did really well, only giving up 4 the entire quarter. So they're doing good there. A balance, like I guess schematically that I'm trying to look at kind of next game and then maybe after the tournament is if I see that in our offense where we're running it, but we're not scoring a lot off of it because when we're scoring, it's in transition.
Right.
So we're getting all this transition points. To try to make that, if we get an early lead, start of the third, where it's middle school girls, do I need to risk the mentality change of saying, hey, this quarter we're just going to run our stuff and keep getting great looks, to see if we can build that in a game scenario, or do I just need to leave that in practice?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I'd leave that in practice, especially with that age level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough gig. I might even do it if I was going to do it, maybe in the end of the second quarter rather than the beginning of the third. The third quarter is so important in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, that first few minutes.
Yeah, so important. So I might try to throw it in. Maybe don't even tell them you're doing it. Just kind of do it in a random spot. But I would definitely try to do it more in practice than definitely. I think that age level, they're just worried about who they're going to be rather than, I mean, you throw anything else into them, they crumble, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'd leave it at least initially. And if you feel like there's a spot where you can do it, then I would do that. I would do it in that spot, but I definitely wouldn't tell them, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. And like a kind of like a, I don't know. I just feel like there's accidental like conflictions, because in our press, like we're usually like at most, if we get a steal, it's like 2 passes and it's a layup. Like that's the most, because we're immediately downhill. We have the numbers.
Right.
When we come against a set offense or a set defense, these girls they're getting so good at playing fast that we'll have a 2-pass possession against a set defense that leads into a missed jump shot.
Right.
And so the mental thing, like if you just run your stuff, you're going to get a great look, but we settle.
Right.
And I don't want to tell them not to shoot the
ball. You almost need a call for it then. Call it red or something. Just call it, it's like a play.
Yeah.
Tell them it's a play. So then you can do it with different groups. We're going to run red for a minute. And that's where if we don't have something, we're going to run it until we get a really good shot. So you got to label it in their minds that this is what we're going to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we have like our delay, we have different delays, and one of our delays is like fist red. Fist red means no shots. You can't shoot it. We're just running our offense. Fist black means you can shoot a layup. So we're still running our offense. Take some time, but if you get a layup, you can take a layup. So I've labeled it things for them so they know what is expected of them.
Okay. No, that's really good.
Yeah. So that's a call it something, banana or whatever they want to call it. Like, giraffe or whatever you're doing, and then let them name it. It doesn't really matter. And then that's when we call this, here's what we're going to do. And then practice it in practice.
Yeah. And I try to kind of let them discover some things for themselves. Like if I go like our first team versus our second team and we run our stuff, we might shoot like literally at yesterday's, we had a practice yesterday evening. We had a practice. We got up in a single offensive possession, probably 4 or 5 jumpers.
Right.
And it's because we crashed the offensive boards really well.
Right.
But we didn't get a layup anywhere in there.
Right.
And so like coaching becomes twofold, is like defense, there's not that big of a difference here. Box out, do the little things, box out. But offense, you got all these opportunities and did nothing but jack up shots when you can get layups. And there's times where I won't tell the defense that, okay, offensively, here's our rule. You get nothing but layups. That's all you're allowed to do when we're running against our second team, and not tell the defense so they close out as they should and everything. They don't start cheating it. And we can get layups constantly. And like I said, I have at least 3 girls on my bench that could start for other teams that we're playing.
Right.
Just because of the depth that we have this year. And we'll do the same thing. And when we press, my first team will jump out on a 15-0 run. And that's still kind of an issue for us, is coming out of the gates really strong. We're much more of a second-half team.
Right.
To come out flat. And with the way we play, it doesn't work. And so we get ourselves in trouble sometimes early, and then we kind of pull away in the second. And against good teams, we're going to dig ourselves a hole and we're going to lose.
Right.
So I'm trying to get them to figure out that kind of difference of like, hey, it's not like these girls are scrub. Your teammates can play. Like they could be their own varsity team and they would be competitive. with the majority of teams that we play against, you jump out on them in 4 minutes on a 15-0 run, but we don't do that off the tip to anyone that we play against. We have to just kind of methodically do it in the first half and then do it in the second half. We can do that every second that we're out there.
Right.
You can go get layups against them every time, but in a game we settle for jump shot. It's just like a mental bounce out there. Some of them figure it out like, oh, hey, I really could have got a layup there, but the jump shot just seems open, so they just take it.
Right. Yeah. So that's where I think you got to do those extra. Yeah, you got to label. You got to basically tell them exactly what you want on that. I agree.
Okay.
Okay. So I looked at your the thing you sent me too. I don't want to forget about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about it, but I want to make sure that I bullet point where I need to formatically.
Well, the only thing I wouldn't bullet point is literally your philosophy. Like,
okay.
I would bullet point I would or outline it, because I just think it's easier. It's an easier read, so they'll see the coaching philosophy at the top, and then, what are the 10 big things for working with parents? And then, you can have a couple sentences if you outline it. I just think that, if I'm an AD and I get this, it's like, holy crap, I'm not going to read all this. To be honest with you, I'm not going to. I'm going to look at the coaching philosophy, and then I want, I'm glad you've got a philosophy on all of them, but I want to know what it is fast. I want to just know, how are you going to deal with parents? How are you going to deal with your youth program? How are you going to deal with fundraising and practice planning and off-season stuff and travel ball and, how you, your long-term plan for the program and all that. So it's going to be, you're going to have, you have everything there. I think you just got to kind of break it down into something that's more readable. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. It's more of a manual for somebody. Like, here's the manual I would hand my youth coaches, kind of thing.
I got you.
Here's my coaching philosophy. Here's how I want practice handled. Here's how I want this handled. Here's how I want that handled.
Okay.
Make it easy for the person reading it to understand what you're getting across. Because, it's like 3 pages of paragraphs. It's fine. And all the stuff's really good. I'm not, like, tweaking that. It's more just, I think, if I grab those, I get those all the time. If I grab them and they're not easy to read, I'm not reading it just because I don't have time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, get it bite-sized.
Yeah, get it bite-sized. Get it, like, Spark Notes, Cliff Note version kind of thing. Yeah. Just easy to read, but you can, and to be honest with you, when you do that, you'll come up with more ideas rather than the flow of writing. You'll come up with the flow of, oh crud, I should run practice this and this and this and this and this. You'll actually come up with more things, but it doesn't matter because it's easier to read.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
That makes sense. And I'll shoot you probably just images of those of the plays that we're looking at.
Do that, and I'll look at them. I'm in PD day all day tomorrow, so I'll have time to look. So if you get them done tonight, send them to me. We don't have school tomorrow. I got meetings all day tomorrow, so I'll be looking for something.
Sounds like a blast.
It's not. All right, talk to you soon. See ya.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.
Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, like, jump up and down, review, do whatever you got to do. Also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Have a great
NFL football season is here, which means when you switch to Verizon, it feels like touchdown, because you get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us when you buy an eligible 5G phone on select unlimited plans, which means you can watch every out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon, and it's all on us. Now that's the Verizon way to kick off the NFL football season right. Switch and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us, only with Verizon.